Good morning, everyone. Let us start this session. So in this session, we will study the motion transmissibility. So the motion transmissibility, it has the application in the automobile suspension design. So what is exactly the motion transmissibility? This is also called as a support excitation. And mathematically, it is represented as the ratio x upon y. So I will explain what is meaning of x and y. So suppose the automobile. So let us take the example of a car. So the wheel, it is isolated from the rest of the chassis by using this spring and damper arrangement. So this is just a schematic diagram. And imagine this vehicle is moving on the road surface. So the surface is just a speed breaker. Okay. So when it is moving on this speed breaker, then this wheel, they will receive some displacement because the wheels are directly in contact with this road surface. So the displacement which is received by this wheel, it is nothing but the y value. Okay. And the displacement which is actually transmitted to the rest of the chassis or to the rider. So that displacement is nothing but the x value. Okay. So that ratio, which is a displacement transmitted to the chassis to the displacement of the wheel, this ratio is nothing but the transmissibility. Okay. So if you draw the simplified schematic model of this automobile, so this is the complete mass, chassis and the rider. So this is the total mass. This is spring and damper arrangement. And this is the wheel. Okay. And this is the road profile. So the displacement of the mass is taken as a x, and displacement of the wheel, it is nothing but the y value. Okay. So theoretically, the wheel, it will receive the same displacement as the amplitude of this road profile. Okay. So this y value is nothing but the amplitude of this road profile. So this ratio x upon y, this is called as a transmissibility. So when we design the suspension of the automobile, our aim will be the x value, which is the displacement of the mass or the chassis, it must be less than the y value. Okay. So this ratio x upon y, it must be less than 1 for good shock absorbing capacity. Okay. So in order to design the proper value of k and the c, we should study the motion transmissibility. So this is the concept of the motion transmissibility. So now we will see the mathematical modeling for the motion transmissibility. So for the mathematical modeling, so we will assume the schematic model for the automobile. So the mass is oscillating with the displacement x, and the wheel, it is oscillating with the displacement y, and we will assume y as a sine wave. Okay, that means if the vehicle is moving on the road surface, so the road surface, it is assumed to be sinusoidal. Okay, so this road profile, it is having the amplitude as a capital Y. So we will write the equation for y as capital Y sine omega t. So this is the displacement received by the wheel. Now we have to find out the relation for x upon y. So we will draw the free body diagram by assuming x to be less than y. So this is our assumption, x to be less than y. So when the x value is less than y value, then the spring, it will undergo the compression. So whenever we draw the free body diagram, as x is less than y, so the spring will undergo compression. So this is the direction of force given by the spring. So this is k, this is a y minus x, as a y is greater than x, and this is the damping force, which is a c y dot minus x dot. Okay, then we will assume mass is moving in the upward direction. So this is the inertia, which is a m x double dot. So by using Newton's second law, the equation will be summation of F is equal to inertia force. So summation of F means we have to consider the spring and damping force. So it is a k y minus x plus c y dot minus x dot. This is equal to mx double dot. Okay. So k into y minus kx plus cy dot minus cx dot. This is equal to mx double dot. Okay. Now take these negative terms on the right hand side. So we will get the equation mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx. This is equal to cy dot plus k into 1. Okay. Now as we have assumed the wheel displacement as a sine function having the value capital Y sine omega t. So as y is equal to capital Y sine omega t. So y dot is equal to y omega cos omega t. Okay. So put this value in this equation, y dot and y. So we will get the equation as mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx. This is equal to c omega capital Y cos omega t plus ky sin omega t. Okay. So you can take capital Y common. So in bracket, it is a c omega cos omega t plus k sin omega t. Okay. So now here we will try to simplify this equation. So we will assume c omega, that is this value, as a sin alpha and the k value as a cos alpha, because this complete equation is assumed as a expansion of the sin omega t plus alpha. Okay. So if you put this value in this equation, So put C omega as A sin alpha into cos omega t plus K as A cos alpha into sin omega t. Okay, so you can take A common into y. Now in the bracket, we will have sin alpha cos omega t and cos alpha sin omega t. So this is expansion of sin omega t plus alpha. Okay, so this is the complete equation, that is the equation of motion for the motion transmissibility. Okay, now this A value. So from these two equations, we will get the A value as this is square root K square plus C square omega square. Okay, so put this value in this equation. So the equation will be mx double dot cx dot plus kx. This is equal to, this is capital Y into square root K square plus C square omega square into sin omega t plus alpha. Okay. So you can take this equation as equation 1. Now if you compare this equation with the simple force vibration, so for simple force vibration, that is the first derivation in this chapter. So we have the equation as mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx. This is equal to f0 sin omega t. Okay. So almost equation is same. We have the sine term here. So this is the sine term and this value is f0. Okay. So if this is the equation for a force vibration, then its solution is nothing but the x value, which is f0 upon r into sine omega t minus 1. Okay. So f0 upon r, this value is nothing but the amplitude of the vibration for this equation. Okay. So similarly here, if you compare these two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, so we can write f0 as y square root k square c square omega square, and therefore this x value we can write y into, just put f0 as k square plus c square omega square upon small r sin omega t plus alpha. So here you can observe, if you have omega t as an angle, we need to subtract the phi value as a phase lag. So similarly here we have this total angle omega t plus alpha. So from this total angle subtract the phi. So this is the phase lag. Okay. Now this complete value is nothing but the amplitude for the motion transmissibility. Okay. So this amplitude is represented as a capital X into sine omega t plus alpha minus phi. Okay. So in the force vibration, this small r, it is not the frequency ratio. Okay. So we are using the same r for frequency ratio, and there is one term. If you refer the derivation for simple force vibration, so this r is nothing but the square root k minus m omega square bracket square plus c square omega square. Okay. So put this value in this equation. Okay. So the x value, so this is y in the square root a square c square omega square. So this is the amplitude of the motion transmissibility upon r. So r is nothing but so this is k minus m omega square square plus c square omega square. Okay, so now we have to simplify this complete equation so that the equation, it will be in the format of zeta and the frequency ratio omega upon omega n. Okay, and therefore just divide numerator and denominator by the stiffness. By the spring constant k. So x is equal to, this is y. So divide this by k and divide the complete square root by k. Okay. Now you can simplify this. So after simplifying, I will write the final equation. So this capital X is equal to capital Y in the square root. This is 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n bracket square upon the square root 1 minus omega upon omega n square bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n bracket square. Okay. So if you simplify this equation, so finally you will get this equation. Okay. And from this equation, just take this y on the left hand side. So we will get x upon capital Y. This is equal to the square root 1 plus 2 zeta. Now take this omega upon omega n as a r. This is a frequency ratio. So this is 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. Okay. So this is the final equation for the motion transmissibility. So this left hand side x upon y, this is called as a motion transmissibility. So here this equation x upon y, it becomes the function of zeta and the frequency ratio. Okay. So by using this equation, we can study the effect of various damping factors and the various frequencies on the motion transmissibility. Okay. And with the help of that characteristic graph, we can select the proper value of damping and the frequency ratio to achieve the desired value of the transmissibility. Okay. So we have the characteristic curve, which is a transmissibility versus frequency ratio. So you can note down this final equation. So this complete derivation, it is given in your notes. You can refer it afterwards. So now we will see the characteristic curve for the motion transmissibility. So that curve is x upon y versus the frequency ratio omega upon omega n. So to plot this graph x by y versus frequency ratio, we have to select the different values of zeta. So I will start from zeta 0, and we have to refer that last equation x upon y is equal to. So in that equation, just put the value of zeta 0, and then we should select the various values of frequency ratio. Okay. So the graph will start from one value. So by selecting zeta as 0, and if you change the frequency from 0, so up to the natural frequency, the graph will increase like this. At the natural frequency, that is called as a resonant condition, it will become infinite. And after that, it will start decreasing. So the magnification factor, so transmissibility, it will again become 1 when the frequency ratio is square root 2, and then it will start decreasing, and gradually it will approach to 0 for the higher frequencies. Similarly, if you take zeta to be 0.1, at the resonant condition, it will become maximum. After that, it will start decreasing. Again, it will pass through the square root 2, and then it will approach to 0 value for higher frequency ratio. If you take zeta to be 0.4, you will observe the same behavior. So all these curves, they will pass through the transmissibility 1 at the frequency ratio square root 2. So this is the intersection point. So this is zeta 0, zeta 0.1, this is zeta 0.4, this is 0.7, then overdamp condition, zeta 1, zeta 2. So even if you increase the damping factor, that is a zeta 3, zeta 4, still you can observe the same behavior. The graph will start from 1, okay? Then gradually, transmissibility, it will increase, that is, it will become greater than 1. And then after the resonant condition, the transmissibility, it will decrease. At the frequency ratio square root 2, again the transmissibility, it will become 1, okay? And then it will start decreasing for the higher frequencies, okay? So when the transmissibility, that is x by y, is less than 1, so meaning is x is less than 1. So this is actually the desired condition, okay? So in the automobile, when we design a suspension, so this is the y value, okay? And this is the x value. So we will expect that x must be less than 1. So just assume y is 5 mm, okay? That is the displacement of the field. If x is also 5 mm, okay? So this is not the proper design of the suspension, because the rider, it will feel or it will experience the same displacement as the displacement received by the field, and therefore x must be less than y. So let us take this as a 3, okay? So the ratio x by y, it will be less than 1. So if you observe this complete graph, then you can see here, if the frequency ratio is greater than square root 2, then this magnification factor or the transmissibility, it will be less than 1. Okay. So therefore, for design of the suspension, we should select the frequency region which is a greater than 2. Then we can experience the comfortable ride. Okay. Because in this region, you can observe the transmissibility is less than 1. Okay. And if the frequency ratio is less than square root 2, then for all the frequency, irrespective of the damping factor, we will get x by y greater than 1. That means the motion transmitted to the chassis is greater than the motion received by the wheel. Okay. So this is not the desired condition. So this is one model for the automobile. So this is actually a suspension model. And with the help of this, you can understand the motion transmissibility. So here the automobile, it is moving on the road. So you can observe here, when it is passes over the speed breaker, then you can observe the waveform of the vehicle chassis. Okay. So right now the suspension is not the proper suspension. Okay. And therefore the displacement of the wheel, it is directly transmitted to the chassis. So here you can observe the proper suspension. So here the transmissibility is less than 1.